Welcome back to the Ed Show. Now, presidential candidate Rick Santorum has his own plan for job growth, and he says that I should love it. The former senator's plan includes a 0% corporate tax rate for manufacturers, 0% tax on repatriated corporate profits from overseas, and no regulations on manufacturing.
That's the 0-0-0 approach, and it's focused on something that even Ed Schultz would love, which is to get these manufacturing jobs. As you know, if Ed Schultz can support this plan because it does something about manufacturing, then you can see that industrial state Democrats will do the same, and will pass something and will bring the country together.
Well, Senator, I have to give you credit. That is some grade A cable news bait, and I'll take it right here. The problem with your plan is that there is really nothing in there for the consumer. Where's the consumer tax credit for buying American, which, of course, your party has been against? Where does it address the trade agreements that have made it so easy to ship jobs overseas, in fact, giving them a lot of incentives to do so? This plan lets corporations avoid regulations. It rewards them for making trillions by taking their businesses offshore, and it gets no tax revenue from corporate billionaires. You call it the 0-0-0 plan. I call it the free lunch plan. Joining me tonight is the president of the United Steelworkers International Union, Leo Gerard. Mr. Gerard, good to have you with us tonight. I should point out that we invited Senator Santorum on the program tonight, but we were told that he couldn't make it. The senator has an open invitation to come on this program. Leo, if there was a 0% tax rate for manufacturing corporations, would that help create jobs?
Absolutely not. We've got hundreds of corporations now, Ed, that aren't paying any tax. In fact, many of them are getting huge tax checks, like General Electric and others, getting huge tax rebates. What this administration has been trying to do is stimulate demand. What the senators or ex-senators' bait is, it doesn't do anything about demand. It doesn't do anything about giving a reward to those that hire jobs. It doesn't do anything about domestic content. It doesn't do anything about taking away the tax break for sending companies sending jobs offshore. This is nothing but a smoke and mirrors. This is nothing more than hide the pea. And I don't know any company that has ever created a job when they repatriated funds in about 2006. Let's not forget, I always worry about economic amnesia. They repatriated funds in 2006. In fact, it didn't create any jobs. We lost a bunch of jobs when pharmaceuticals moved their jobs to Puerto Rico.
Yeah. When it comes to regulations, most businesses say regulations don't hurt growth. In fact, a small business majority poll from the summer showed it was only considered a concern to 13% of business owners. Can you give an example of how regulation has hurt manufacturing in this country?
I don't know any examples where regulation has hurt manufacturing. I'm fascinated, Ed, by the fact that the Republican candidates are coming out as if regulations are a big hurdle. The regulations we have now, except for the banking regulations, are the regulations we had under George Bush. Remember the mine disasters where all those miners got killed? We tried to bring in some reform of the Mining Safety Act. The Republicans blocked it. These guys are talking about repealing the Clean Air Act, repealing the Clean Water Act, repealing the kind of safety and health legislation, repealing food protection. I mean, what kind of nonsense is that? I don't know any employer who has created a job because there was too much, or didn't create a job because there was too much regulation. The issue is, that I've been saying on your show and many other places, the issue is demand. We need to put people back to work. We need to raise their standard of living. We've got to raise what we've been calling the minimum wage, which is really the entry-level wage where people enter the workforce, and we've got to raise demand, and people will buy the products that are making, and we've got to totally stop giving companies tax breaks when they move jobs offshore. I couldn't think of anything more ridiculous.
You know, why would we allow companies to bring their businesses back after making trillions in profits without paying something? I mean, to repatriate the money at zero expense does nobody any good because there's no guarantee. Wouldn't it have to be tied to just how many jobs they actually create with that money they bring back?
I would not sort of. I don't know. I'm not sure what the right word is. I wouldn't be angry about trying to choose my words without being nasty. I wouldn't be angry about having a discussion about if there's a way to reward job creation, but to simply give people the money back with no guarantees they're going to create jobs. We did this in 2006, and in fact, we lost jobs. So if they wanted to sit down with the president and have a discussion about for every job you create, you could bring back this many dollars, that's a totally different discussion. But we don't hear them saying that. Some of them want to go to zero tax if you bring it back. Some of them want to go to 5%. And the reality is, if there was demand here, if people were working, they'd be hiring. And that's what this president is trying to do. And what we've now got is the party of no, the party of I don't give a darn, saying I don't care if you're unemployed, I'm not going to help you. They're doing everything they can to stop this president. My view, Ed, is this. We've got a Republican Party at all levels prepared to have millions of people out of work so they can try and get one man's job. And we need to focus on, he's trying to get people back to work, and they're trying to get his job.
Leo Gerard of the Steelworkers International, great to have you with us tonight. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Last night's Republican debate was another poor showing for Rick Perry. He blamed President Obama for more than 30 years of skyrocketing income inequality. The governor's in the zone. And a county in Georgia wants to put convicted criminals in charge of keeping their citizens safe when it comes to firefighting. Anything to save money. That's coming up in my playbook. Stay with us.